Are you guys excited to finally get back into the war of Naruto Shippuden? Well, too bad, because this week's episode is filled to the brim with filler. And frankly, I didn't care for it. And that's a complete shame, because now that the Naruto manga series is over, that means the anime series can finally kick into full gear, start kicking some ass, and giving us a lot of really great action. But they are just expanding so much on Obito's backstory, and it really looks like that Obito is going to be the focus for all of the episodes in November. The thing about this episode is it's one that you can skip entirely, and you're not going to miss anything. In fact, most of the major scenes in this week's episode are just scenes that are expanded upon from what we saw before. If you remember when they actually revealed who Obito was for the first time, when Naruto smashed his mask, they went through all of these quick flashbacks with no dialogue, and those spoke volumes about the character. They let you know everything you need to know about Obito and all of the turmoil that he's gone through. And yet, this week, I guess they just felt, well, you want to know how they got into the Chunin exams up to the point where freaking Guy kicks him in the face and he accidentally swallows the candy and spits it out? Do you want to see what happens when Rin actually sets up this whole Kakashi getting him a present party? Because that's what's going on in this week's episode, and it just didn't impress me all that much. By the end of the episode, they're finally getting back to Naruto and Obito, and I know that we're going to have to go through a few more flashbacks because that is apparent from the preview of next week's episode, but it seems like as soon as that's going to be done, we can finally get back to the war at hand. If you guys did notice in the preview, we're finally going back to Kurama and all their group trying to take back the Bijuu's chakra, and I just hope they get through it soon, because this episode just did not do anything for me. It had okay animation, it had okay artwork. I think my favorite thing about this week's episode was the music cues. I think they were appropriate and well done, and my favorite scene, ironically, was this one scene where Obito was training in the snow, and the only reason that was impressive to me is because you never see Konoha Village covered in snow. You rarely see snowy situations in Naruto. Whenever they happen, I think they're very atmospheric and they can add a lot to the scene. And it did this week. It just made everything seem so much more tumultuous for Obito. But it didn't make me feel any more sad for him. It didn't make me care about the character anymore because I already did care about the character. This episode almost seems like it didn't need to happen. There were just a ton of filler moments and it was just an okay episode for me. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden? It was okay, but it's an entirely skippable episode, and it's not too often I say that, and that's a shame, because we're in the final arc of the series. This is their opportunity to just go crazy with the animation and the artwork, but I honestly don't know how they're going to handle it from this point on. I don't know if they're going to continue to try and drag out the final arc, or if they're going to try and pick up the pace a little bit. And there's even like a brand new Hinata and Hanabe special, which is coming out in December, which is supposed to tie into the brand new Naruto movie, which I'm still really excited for. Just the concept of getting brand new Naruto stories, of seeing our favorite characters again, has got me excited. But we have got to get past this whole Obito thing. It has been going on for way too long, and they could have easily cut it from last week's episode. Like, they could have immediately started up with the next part of the war in this week's episode, but the whole reason they're doing this is to make you care about Obito a little bit more, to feel for his situation. But like I said, you already feel that. You already know everything. You already know the strong connections he has with Rin, and it's just reinforced in this week's episode. Rin cares about Obito, Obito cares about Rin, Rin dies, Obito goes insane, and starts his whole plan to take over the world. It is interesting by the end of the episode, though, how Naruto is saying that he's going to try and drag him back, bring him back to Konoha Village, and make him atone for his sins. And you can see that it is starting to get under his skin a little bit, and it is sad how the final parts of the episode, where they're still hanging out in that weird, like, world with all the weird shooting stars behind them, still has better animation and artwork than the stuff we saw earlier in the episode. And this could have been an opportunity to do something really fun, especially with the whole Chunin exams. Like, they could have brought in a really great animation team and had some really great taijutsu and choreography fighting moments, but they completely ditched all that to try and bring us this sad atmosphere for Obito. And I'm so sorry if I'm just sounding really negative about this episode. I hate doing negative reviews, but I just didn't like this episode at all. It had a few redeeming qualities, but otherwise, it's a completely skippable episode of Naruto Shippuden. If you're going to watch this one, watch it if you're the most hardcore of fans. If you were expecting a lot of action, you're just going to be disappointed. So I'm going to give this week's episode a reluctant 2 out of 5. Not a good episode, one you can skip, but like I said, hardcore Naruto fans, check it out. You might get something out of it, and if you're a big fan of Obito, it might hit you in the feels. For me personally, it didn't really do anything. So check it out, Naruto fans. Everybody else, stay away. Thank you guys for watching my review. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And before you guys leave, please tell me what you thought about this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden. Is there something I'm missing? Is this actually an amazing episode? Did you guys really like it or did you hate it? Please tell me in the comments section below. And if you guys have not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and do that. You can do it by clicking on the channel icon right up here. You guys can also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And just a quick reminder for all the people who have been following our page, as you guys know, the Naruto manga series just ended, and we had room for another brand new series to start reviewing. Just this week, Christian and I have just started reviewing the One Piece manga series. If you guys want to check out our review of chapter 767, I'll put a link for that at the very end of the video. Make sure and stay tuned for that because One Piece is a really fun action anime series and manga. You should check it out. I've already been reviewing the anime for a long period of time, but now we're going to be reviewing both of them back to back, just like Naruto, so check them out. Thank you guys again for watching.